Samuel rebuked Saul. Saul was 30 years old when he became king and reigned over Israel 42 years. Saul chose 3,000 men from Israel. 2,000 were with him at Michmash and in the hill country of Bethel, and 1,000 were with Jonathan at Gibeah in Benjamin. The rest of the men he sent back to their homes. Jonathan attacked the Philistine outpost of Geba, and the Philistines heard about it. Then Saul had the trumpet blown throughout the land and said, "Let the Hebrews hear." So all Israel heard the news. Saul has attacked the Philistine outpost, and now Israel has become a stench to the Philistines. And the people were summoned to join Saul at Gilgal. The Philistines assembled to fight Israel with 3,000 chariots, 6,000 charioteers, and soldiers as numerous as the sand of the seashore. They went up and camped at Michmash, east of Beth Evan. When the men of Israel saw that their situation was critical and that their army was hard pressed, they hid in caves and thickets, among the rocks, and in pits and cisterns. Some Hebrews even crossed the Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead. Saul remained at Gilgal, and all the troops with him were quaking with fear. He waited 7 days, the time set by Samuel, but Samuel did not come to Gilgal, and Saul's men began to scatter. So he said, "Bring me the burnt offering and the fellowship offerings." And Saul offered up the burnt offering. Just as he finished making the offering, Samuel arrived, and Saul went out to greet him. So, quick pause. Was Saul a priest? Was Saul of the tribe of Levite? He was a Benjamite, right? And he was not a priest. He was not necessarily poor. He came from a family that was doing okay, doing well. But he lost his patience. So we're getting to learn more about Saul's character. He lost his patience and went ahead and requested to do the offering himself. And he took the offering and he made the offering himself. Let's continue to read. "What have you done?" asked Samuel. Saul replied, "When I saw that the men were scattering, and that you did not come at the set time, and that the Philistines were assembling at Michmash, I thought, now the Philistines will come down against me at Gilgal, and I have not sought the Lord's favor. So I felt compelled to offer the burnt offering." "You acted foolishly," Samuel said. "You have not kept the command the Lord God gave you. If you had, he would have established your kingdom over Israel for all time. But now your kingdom will not endure. The Lord has sought out a man after his own heart and appointed him leader of his people, because you have not kept the Lord's command." Then Samuel left Gilgal and went up to Gibeah in Benjamin, and Saul counted the men who were with him. They numbered about 600. So basically, it may have been some time that that when this happened, about this battle with the Philistines, had they rid Canaan of the Philistines before they wouldn't even, when they entered the land, they wouldn't be dealing with this, but they didn't. So now they're dealing with this. Remember, the Lord said, "Well, Israel, you didn't do what I told you to do, so I'm going to utilize these people as tests for you." And that's what he's doing. He's utilizing the Philistines are a thorn, a thistle in their foot, and that's what they're doing. And so, and then as we can see, Saul's not listening to directions, and has a short he's not patient. So he went ahead and offered the burnt offering himself. He gave a reason. He felt that he needed to for his men, but remember, God's with them. So why would he want to do something that he knows is against commands, against the rules? He was looking at it in the human portion. He was looking at his men scattering, everybody being afraid, instead of looking at what he was told to do. And so, bringing past to present, do we do that? Are we not patient? So remember, just talked about, you keep asking for things. The Lord may give you what you ask for, and it may not be all that you wanted when you do receive it. And now we also are learning about correct timing and patience. It's in God's time. If you're to get something, if you're to be blessed, if you're to be whatever it may be, it's in God's timing and not ours. And so we have to think about our own patience. It may take a long time. It could take up to almost the end of your life before something may happen. But that's a lesson that we have to learn under patience. So, reading over these passages, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think?